Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 3 of lesson number 13, Why do we fall ill? Okay, so now the answer to this question, why do we fall ill, is very much clear to you all, but scientifically there are certain reasons. Scientifically we are discussing on how the health is being affected by different things, what exactly is disease, how we are diagnosing the disease, right? हम क्यों बीमार पड़ते हैं? The question is this much simple, right? And if I tell you all to write an answer on it, I know you will be able to write this answer, right? Because we all are aware of why are we falling ill. You'll tell, कल ना बहुत ज़्यादा पिज़्ज़ा खा लिया था, so now I'm having a stomach ache. Okay, so this is what you will tell. Then some of you might tell that because बाहर बहुत ज़्यादा garbage है and they are not being collected and disposed, so because of that what's happening, the chances of getting infection, the chances of getting contaminated air, and the chances of getting diseases are increasing because of this, and everyone is being careless on it. Now when it comes to why do we fall ill, carelessness is one of the most important thing that comes into picture, because if we are carefully eating, if we are avoiding the contaminated food, contaminated water, if we are doing everything carefully, see, carelessness is something that is leading to diseases, and because of which we are falling ill. So the solution to this problem, okay, what is the solution to this is we need to be careful with everything that we are doing, and the most important thing is maintaining a personal hygiene. But it's not like that you are maintaining a personal hygiene for yourself, but the society or the area where you are living, that is not hygiene. Then there will be no means. Like if wherever you are living, the place where you live, as well as your body itself, you have to maintain hygiene. Your place, your house should be clean, your area should be clean, your neighborhood should be clean, okay? And you should also be hygiene, okay? You need to wash your hands when you come from outside. You need to wash your hand before eating your food. You need to wash your hand after using toilet, after defecation, right? So if we are following all the cleanliness and hygiene wala part for ourselves as well as for our society, you can say it is going to help us a lot. And why do we fall ill, इसका आंसर भी आपको पता चल जाएगा, because you are following the hygiene which is being required, right? And what all things were causing us that it was causing diseases in humans. If we are eliminating those things from our environment, what is going to happen at the end? Everything will be okay, everyone around you will be having a good health, right? So cleanliness and hygiene is very much important for us, okay? So let's just discuss on till now what we have discussed in this lesson. Why do we fall ill? Okay, so see, we started with this main topic. Like in this lesson we have certain main topics, and then there are certain subtopics which are included under those topics. Like here you can see the main topic is health and its failure. Why our health is failing, okay? See, health and failure is the first topic, and under that we have a subtopic. Can you see 13.1? 13.1.1 means this is the subtopic, okay? So the subtopic under this health and its failure is the significance of health. Now you all are aware of the word health, it is nothing new to you all, and might be that no one has taught you that this is what we call it health, but you know the meaning of health, right? But here we have discussed that it is not that if we are functioning, our body is functioning well, we are looking well, we are looking good, it doesn't mean that we are an healthy individual. We are not having any disease. I'm not having any disease. My body is functioning well and I'm saying myself healthy. But if my mind is not that good, okay, if my mind, that is mentally I'm not good, I'm mentally tensed, okay, socially I'm not able to interact with others, then I will say that I'm an unhealthy individual. Why? Though I am not having any disease, though I am looking fine, then to mentally I am, you can say, tensed. I'm tensed with something or the other thing, okay? And socially I'm not able to communicate with other people, I'm not able to have a bond with other people, then I cannot say that I'm a healthy individual, okay? So here we have also discussed later after this कि society also plays a very important role in keeping us healthy. It is not only we individual who can keep ourselves healthy, society also plays a very big role here, right? So here we have also seen one example where you might have heard teachers saying or scolding any of the student, stating that it's not an healthy attitude. Now what does your healthy means? See, what has been given here, they have explained you about healthy attitude and an unhealthy attitude. So see, being a teacher, I'm interested in teaching y'all in the classroom, right? So I can understand and I'm able to understand the whole, okay? See, I am teaching you, and because of my teaching, I am very much interested in teaching you all so that you can understand the world, okay? So this is a healthy attitude that I am having. But if I am not interested in teaching you, okay, I'm not interested whether you are understanding or not, then it is being told that that is an unhealthy attitude that I have, which shouldn't be there. Because if I'm teaching, I have to make sure that you are understanding everything, whatever I have taught, right? So this is what we call as an healthy attitude and an unhealthy attitude, okay? So here comes the definition of health. Health is therefore a state of being well enough to function well, not only physically, not only mentally, but socially as well, okay? So what is health? Health is a state of being well enough so that we can function properly physically, mentally as well as socially. Okay? So this, I hope that you have taken a note of definition. After that, the second subtopic that comes under health and its failure is personal and community issue. Both matter for health. As I told you that individually you cannot be healthy, right? Community issues are also very much important for health when it comes to health, okay? So if health means a state of physical, mental and social well-being, now we just discussed on the definition of health, right? A state of physical, mental and social well-being is health, right? So it cannot be something that each one of us can achieve entirely on our own. Now social well-being, to social mein community needs to be involved, right? And that is why health is not something that we can achieve on our own, okay? We need communities, we need social well-being as well here, right? So the health of an organism is also going to depend upon their environment or the surrounding. So my health or any of the organism's health, that is going to depend upon the surrounding or the environment, because the environment is going to include the physical environment where I am living. For example, now there is a natural disaster, cyclone, which has taken place in an area or in any of the environment. So in such places, the health is at great risk, okay? And we human beings, where do we live? We live in societies. Therefore, our social environment also becomes an important factor in our individual health. Okay? So, for having this individual health, the social environment where we are living, that also plays a very important role, okay? So we live in villages, towns or cities, and in such places even our physical environment is decided by our social environment, right? We all are living in, some of us are living in cities, some of us living in towns, some in villages, right? So ये सारे places पे क्या होता है, wherever you go, your physical environment where you are living, that is also being decided by the social environment itself, right? So can you consider what will happen if there is no agency that is ensuring that the garbage is collected and disposed? See, now because this is a social environment where the garbage is not collected and disposed, so my physical environment is going to be affected here, right? So Just imagine a situation where there is no agency which is coming and collecting the garbage, and there is no disposal of the garbage which is taking place. So what will happen if no one takes the responsibility for clearing the drains and ensuring that the water does not collect in the street or open spaces? What do you think? If there is no one responsible for that, because we make certain persons, individuals responsible, that this person in the area is going to have a look on this, is going to clear the drains, is going to ensure that the water is not getting collected in the street or the open spaces, right? So if there is a great deal of garbage which is thrown in our street, okay, सपोज अभी इमेजिन करो स्ट्रीट पे, हमारे रास्ते पे, वहाँ पे बहुत सारा गार्बेज थ्रो किया हुआ है, एंड और इफ देर इज़ एन ओपन ड्रेन विच इज़ वाटर लाइंग stagnant around where we are living, there the possibility of the poor health is going to increase. Why it is going to increase? Because the water is there is an open drain where the water is lying stagnant in that, so mosquitoes are going to lay their eggs in that, and if the mosquitoes are laying the eggs there, it means the population of mosquitoes are going to increase, and you know that mosquitoes cause malaria, diarrhea and all, right? So this is how what is going to happen. The health is going to deteriorate, that is we are going to have poor health, and the chances of getting this poor health is going to increase. Okay, therefore public cleanliness is important for individual health. What is important for individual health? Public cleanliness also plays a very important role. अभी हम रोड पे जाते हैं, we see that water is stagnant at one place. You see that the garbage is collected, no one is collecting and disposing the garbage. We all just have a look and we just cover our mouth, cover our nose, right? This is what we are doing, but this is not a sign of a good citizen. We are also the citizens of wherever we are living, right? We have some social responsibilities as well. And when you come across such situations where there is a garbage which has been disposed on the street and no one is collecting it, no one is collecting that garbage and disposal is not happening properly, you being a responsible citizen, you have to call to whatever is been there, municipal corporation, Brihan Mumbai, wherever you live. We all have something with respect to government that is helping us with all these things. So you need to Google out. Every one of us, we are having our phone. If we are not having our own phone, we have daddy's phone, mama's phone, younger brother, younger sister's phone. What you can do is, you can just make them, please make a call and tell them to collect this. If you can't do that, help others to do it. You know what is to be done, right? So just tell Papa, please dial on this number and tell them to collect the garbage. Otherwise we are going to have poor health. This is only what you have to do, and you know your father will feel proud of you because you are coming up with this social issues, right? Which everyone is ignoring. There are many people who are living in the society, but if you are the one who is coming up with that issue, that will be a very proud moment for you yourself as well. Okay, so you can do that. Even you know how to write a mail, you can even mail them. Okay, I know that, see, initially everything you will find it difficult, but once you do that, the next time it is going to become very much easier for you to cover everything. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say y'all, that public cleanliness is also important for our individual health. Okay, now we need food to be healthy, and this food will have to be earned by doing good. अब हम सबको खाना चाहिए ना healthy रहने के लिए, and how can we get this food? We will have to do some kind of work, and when we do anyone's work, what do? We get money out of it. We are earning, and now from that money we purchase the food, right? So we will have to earn by doing this work. So for this, the opportunity to do work has to be available. If there is no opportunity of doing any work, what will I do? How will I earn, and how will I get the food, right? So we need to be happy in order to be truly healthy. Now जैसे हम बिना काम किए we can't get our food, right? वैसे ही बिना happy, अगर आप happy नहीं हो, then you cannot be truly healthy. Being truly healthy is very much important. Like when you are earning well, then only you will get the food. Same way, when you are happy, then only you will be said that you are truly healthy. And if we mistreat each other, if you are not treating others well because the other one is not treating you well, if you are mistreating each other, if you are afraid of each other, we cannot be healthy in such situation, or we cannot be healthy or happy as well. Why? Because we will be like always thinking, oh my god, I'm very much afraid, what will the person say next time? So that is not giving me a feeling of happiness. Now I'm getting tensed. So here what happens, you are mentally tensed, so you are not neither healthy because you're not happy, because if you are happy, then only you will be healthy. Okay, keep this in mind. Then we have discussed on this 5 F's, where we have fluids, fingers, flies, fields and floods, right? So fluids में हमने क्या देखा था, whatever water source that we are having, we need to protect that water source, and this is the hygienist that we need to follow with respect to fluids. Okay, and what is the sanitization that we need to give? So we need to treat and store the water safely. This is the sanitization with respect to fluids. Okay, after that we have our fingers. Now what is the hygiene that you need to follow with respect to your fingers? So we need to wash the hands before preparing and taking the food. What do we need to do? We need to wash our hands before preparing the food. Your mama might be doing this while she prepares the food, right? So washing the hands before preparing it, and what are you doing before eating that food? You need to wash your hand too. Okay, and what is the sanitization that can be done? You need to wash your hands after defecation. Whenever you use your washroom or toilet, you have to wash your hands. Okay, then we have flies. So flies say what you have to do. You know, you might have seen when you go outside, all the flies, they are just taking a round of the food, right? So would you like to have that food where the flies were sitting on that? Now just imagine a situation, there was defecation on the road, either of any of the animals, okay, and the fly was sitting on it. Now from that toilet part, the fly has moved to your food. My god. Okay, so this thing should not happen, because that is going to cause diseases and infections in you all. Okay, so what is to be done is, you need to have a proper hygienist. So you need to cover the food that you have prepared or that you're going to eat, or the leftover food that you have. Okay, and sanitization is, we need to control the growth of flies, is very much important. Okay, then fields may we have agricultural fields, right? Fields may, you know, in villages, still villagers do not have toilets in their house. So what happens, in the early morning they go to this agricultural field, and what happens here is, we are eating the fruits and vegetables which are grown in that agricultural field, right? So what is to be done is, whenever you get these fruits and vegetables from the market, you need to properly wash them, we need to clean them. Okay, and we need to avoid the open defecation, that is in agricultural fields. We need to avoid such kind of open defecation, because that is very much unhealthy for us. Okay, and last step is the flood, where if there is no proper drainage system for the water to pass on, it is going to result in flood, right? So to avoid this flood, we need to have a proper drainage system. And sanitization is, whatever drainage system we are having there, the water should also get treated as well. Treatment of the water is very much important, because what happens, the water that we have sometimes has some industrial water which has been released in that, and industries has harmful chemicals to release, right? So the water can have chemicals inside it, which if we are intaking that water some or the other how, we are going to suffer from diseases. Okay, so that is why treatment of the water is very much important. So this is the tabular form. What is the prevention, how it can be prevented, how the transmission of diseases, by maintaining sanitization and hygiene. So if we are maintaining a proper sanitization and proper hygiene, how we can prevent the transmission of disease. Okay, now this social equality and harmony, these are two essential things which are very much important for any of the individual's health. Okay, and we can think of many other examples where we are connecting between we have certain connections with the community issue, right? Because our individual health, it doesn't only depend on us, it also depends upon the society and the community's issue. Because there was one sentence which was been given, I'll show you. Our physical environment is decided by our social environment, right? So it has been said the same thing, that community issues are also very much important with individuals' health. Okay, then we have distinctions between healthy and disease free. Now you know what health means, right? A complete state of well-being with respect to physical, mental and social aspects, right? So if it is what we mean by health, what do we mean by disease? What do you think? What is health ka matlab to you know, but what do you mean by disease? So the disease word is actually self-explanatory, because we can think of it as disease, that is a disturbed ease. What disease means? Disease means disturbed ease. The disease word itself is self-explanatory, it is explaining itself, right? So disease, in other words, literally means being uncomfortable. When you are not comfortable, when you are not feeling like that I'm not functioning well, my body is not functioning well, then you say that I might be having some kind of disease and I need to visit a physician, right? So disease ka literally matlab kya hai? It means being uncomfortable. Okay, but we cannot use it. If I'm having fever, I cannot tell that I'm having disease. Okay, the word is used in a more limited meaning. We cannot use it everywhere. So when we talk of disease, when we can find a specific and a particular cause for discomfort, whenever we are discussing on disease, we need to find a specific as well as a particular cause why this discomfort is occurring in me. Okay, so this does not mean that we have to know the absolute final cause. Okay, if I am telling you, you should know the particular cause for discomfort, but this does not mean कि आपको final cause भी पता होना ज़रूरी है. We can say that someone is suffering from diarrhea without knowing the exact reason what has caused the loose motion. Diarrhea में क्या होता है? Loose motion होता है. Now you can say that my friend is suffering from diarrhea, but you don't know why she is suffering from diarrhea and what has caused loose motion to her. The reasons can be many, right? So you don't know the absolute final cause, but still you are saying that she is suffering from diarrhea, right? So we can now easily see that it is possible to be in poor health without actually suffering from a particular disease. Now I am not having any of the particular disease, but still my health is poor because I am uncomfortable, because I am because I am disturbed, right? So simply, not being diseased is not the same as being healthy. If I am not diseased, it doesn't mean that I am healthy. Okay, so if I tell about for a dancer, a good health for a dancer will be if the dancer is able to stretch his body and be graceful. Okay, into difficult, what has been given? For dancer may mean being able to stretch his body into difficult but graceful position. So for this dancer, he is in a good health. Why? Because he is able to stretch his body to difficult and have a graceful position, right? And on the other hand, if I tell about if the musician is having a good health because he has enough breathing capacity. Okay, capacity for what? For his or her lungs, because he is able to control the notes from his fluid. So if the musician is having this capacity, it means the musician is having good health for himself. Like we have discussed, if your grandma is able to go to the market, visit the neighborhood, then for her that is a good health which she is having, right? So for every one of us, if we are able to do our work properly, and you can say if we are able to do our follow our niche properly, then we can say that we are in a good health. Okay, so to have the opportunity to release the unique potential in all of us is also necessary for real health. Now we need to have some kind of opportunity where we can release this unique potential. We all have some of the other unique potentials in us, right? So it is very much important that you realize this unique potential so that you can find your real health. Okay, so we can be in poor health without there been a simple cause in a form of an identifiable disease. Now I don't have any disease, there is no identifiable disease which has been found in me, but still I can be in poor health. It's not like that I'm not having any disease then I'm healthy. I'm repeating it every time, okay, and the sentence is repeated every time. So this is a very important statement, because we misunderstand this, where we say that bhai usko koi disease nahi hai, he is healthy. No, it's not the case, okay. So this is the reason why we think about health and we think about societies and communities. Getting my point? So on the other hand, when we think about diseases, we think about individual sufferers. When we are thinking about health, so wahan pe we need to think about the societies and the communities, because we cannot think of having we cannot become healthy all alone, okay. So whenever we are thinking about the health, we need to think about the societies and the communities. But when we think about disease occur only with respect to any of the individual. किसी एक individual को he is suffering from tumor, he is suffering from cancer, he is suffering from gastrointestinal disease, okay, from heart failure. So whenever we are discussing on diseases, we think about an individual sufferer there. But when it comes to health includes all societies and communities, okay. Then we started with this disease and its causes, where we saw what does the disease look like, right. So now let us think little more about diseases. In the first place, you should know, how do we know that there is a disease? As I told you, that it is a feeling of being uncomfortable, right. In other words, how do we know that there is something wrong with the body? So you know that our body is made up of cell, and when a group of cells come having the same function and the same structure, when they come together, they form tissue, right. So there are many tissues in our body, which we have already studied in chapter 6, right. So what these tissues are doing, these tissues are making up the physiological system. These tissues, when a group of tissue having the same structure and function, they come together, they make up our organ. And when certain organs are coming together and performing their function, we call that as an organ system. So these tissues are coming up together and they are making these physiological systems in our body. And now this physiological system or the organ system, it performs or it carries out the body function, right. So each of the organ system has specific organ as its part. Now I am an individual, I'm having different organs in my body. I have stomach, I have liver, I have pancreas. So these are the different organs that I'm having, and each and every organ is going to perform some or the other function, right. So the digestive system, it has the stomach and intestine, where the stomach and intestine is going to help in digesting the food which is taken in from outside the body. Now food I am eating it from outside the body, right. So whatever food that I am eating, that is being digested by my stomach and intestine through the digestive system, right. And you know, we have a musculoskeletal system as well. Now this musculoskeletal system, it is made up of bones and muscles. What it is made up of? Bones and muscles. So now what this musculoskeletal system does is, it is going to hold our body part together and it is going to help the body move. So for the movement of the body also, this musculoskeletal system is very much important. And when you find out that there is a disease, either which has been functioning of one or more system of the body, then you will see that they are going to change for the worse, okay. So these changes which are being seen, they give rise to symptoms as well as signs of disease. What do they give rise to? Signs and symptoms of diseases. And symptoms of disease are the things that we feel as being wrong. Whatever you find that is the wrong thing that is occurring in your body, then that is what we call it as a symptom, okay. So when we have a headache, we have a cough, we have loose motion, we have a wound with pus, these are all symptoms which are being seen, okay. These are the symptoms of a certain disease, it might be, right. So this indicates that there may be a disease, but they don't indicate what the disease is. I'm having headache, I'm having cough, I'm having loose motion. So these are the symptoms of disease, but I don't know what exactly the disease is, right. So they don't indicate the disease. For example, a headache may mean just examination stress, or very rarely it may mean meningitis or any one of the dozen different diseases. We don't know. अगर एक headache हो रहा है मुझे, तो ये meningitis हो सकता है, या I have an examination stress उस वजह से हो सकता है, और there can be dozens of different diseases which might occur here. Okay, so the signs of disease are what physicians will look for on the basis of symptoms. So what symptoms I'm having, on the basis of that physicians are going to find it out कि what disease I'm suffering from. So science will give a little more definite indication of the presence of particular disease. So the symptoms are the things that you are feeling, and signs which are being seen by the physician. Okay, so physician is going to let you do some lab test so that he can pinpoint the diseases further, because he cannot just say by looking at the signs and symptoms he cannot conclude anything. He need to have an exact report where whatever he finds, like if you are having certain diseases, certain symptoms, and that is of particular disease, then he is going to tell you go and have this blood checkup done, go and have this done, that done from the lab, and then he is going to pinpoint the further disease. Right now we are going to discuss on acute and chronic disease, which is the next topic. Okay, now see, the manifestations of diseases, it will be different. Okay, what the manifestation of disease, it is going to be different. Why? Because it depends on many different numbers of factors. Okay, what did I said? Manifestation of disease is going to be different because it depends on number of factors. So here some of the diseases are such that they are going to last only for a short period of time, and this type of diseases we call it as acute diseases. Okay, so disease which are lasting for a small number of time or period of time, then we call that as acute diseases. Like if you are experiencing common cold cannot be there for more than 1 week or 3-4 days. It is going to be there only for few days, right? So common cold is an acute disease, because the definition itself is saying if the disease lasts only for very short period of time, then we call them as acute disease, and common cold is the acute disease. Okay, and we know like from this we all have suffered from common cold some or the other days, right? So we all know that it doesn't last for months and all, it only lasts for few days, right? And that is why common cold is an acute disease. Then the other alignments can last for long time. अभी और भी बहुत सारे alignments हैं. There will be certain diseases which are going to, symptoms which are going to last for a long time, and they can even last for a lifetime if we are not treating it, right? So we call those types as chronic disease. Okay, so example of this infection causing elephantiasis. Now you might have seen 2004 or 5 में, I'm not remembering the exact year, elephantiasis was spread like COVID. बहुत सारे लोगों को ये infection हो रहा था elephantiasis. You might have seen लोगों का जो leg है that becomes the size of the elephant, and that is why it is called as elephantiasis. Okay, so this infection causing elephantiasis is very much common in some parts of India, and this elephantiasis is a chronic disease because it can last for lifetime as well. Okay, now the next topic that we are going to discuss on is how chronic disease and poor health, they are being related. Okay, so acute disease and chronic disease, they both are going to have different effects on our health. Okay, be it a acute disease, be it a chronic disease, they are going to have different effects on our health. So any disease that causes poor functioning, any disease, be it acute disease, be it chronic disease, if it is causing poor functioning of some part of your body, that is going to affect our health. Okay, what did I just said? Any disease, if it's a disease, obviously baat hai, it is going to cause problem to the functioning of your body, right? So any disease that is causing the poor functioning of some parts of your body, it is eventually going to affect your health. And why is it so? This is because all functions of the body, they are necessary for being healthy. Whatever function your body is performing, all the function plays a very vital role. अगर एक भी function कहीं पे भी रुकता है, stop होता है, then eventually you will see that the other function is also going to get affected, because our body organs or the system, they are functioning together. Okay, so this is all because of the function of the body, they are necessary for being healthy. Okay, so but an acute disease which is over very soon, you know acute disease जो है, it is a disease which lasts for only few days, for a short period of time. So acute disease which is over very soon, it will not have time to cause major effects on journal health, right? एक्यूट डिजीज़ में जो भी ये होता है, आपको साइन सिम्टम्स दिखते हैं, उनके पास ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं होता कि वो आपके हेल्थ पे कोई ज़्यादा मेजर इफेक्ट दे पाए, राइट? वाइल अ क्रोनिक डिजीज इज़ गोइंग टू हैव एन मेजर इफेक्ट ऑन योर जर्नल हेल्थ, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ क्रोनिक डिजीज, इट इज़ गोइंग टू लास्ट फॉर many days, even it can last for a lifetime, right? So it is having that much of time that it can cause a major effect on your journal health. So as an example, think about a cough and cold which all of us have from time to time. Just think of it. So most of us get better and become well within a week or so. If I'm having cold and cough, I will become better and I will be well within a week, right? And there is no long lasting effect on our health which has been seen, because it's not like that कि common cold and cough जो है वो आपको पूरे month रहेगा. But if it's a disease, because there are some diseases जिसका ये sign है common cold, there it is going to last for much time. But since it is a common cold and cough, यहाँ पे it is not going to last for much time, right? So we are going to get better within a week or so, and there is no lasting effects on our health, right? Because why they are not having major effect on our health? Because they don't have that much of time that they can cause that major effect, because they are lasting only for a short period of time, right? But if we get infected with a chronic disease such as tuberculosis of the lungs, then being ill over the years does make us lose weight and feel tired all the time. Now if we are getting infected, if any of the individual is getting infected with a chronic disease like tuberculosis of the lungs, then that individual who is having this tuberculosis is going to be ill for many years, where you will see that individual is going to lose the weight, is going to feel tired all the time, because these are the signs and symptoms of tuberculosis. Okay, and we may not go to school for few days if we have an acute disease. If you get a viral fever, cold and cough, okay, headache, these are some of the acute diseases. So what happens, we don't go to school, we take leave for few days. But when there is a chronic disease, it is going to make it difficult for us to follow what is being taught in school, and it is going to reduce our ability to learn as well. If there is a chronic disease, as chronic disease lasts for a longer period of time, it is going to make it difficult for us to follow whatever has been taught in the school, as well as it is going to reduce our ability to learn as well. Okay, in other words, I can say we are likely to have a prolonged journal poor health if we have a chronic disease, and that is why chronic disease is going to always lead to poor health. Okay, so chronic disease, therefore they have a very drastic long-term effect on people's health as compared to acute disease, because acute disease cannot cause major effect on journal health of ours, right? But if there is a chronic disease, is going to have a drastic long-term effect. Okay, whatever effect that I am going to have with respect to chronic disease, that is going to be a drastic long-term effect which has been seen in people's health as we compare it to acute disease. And that is why we discussed this, that chronic disease is always going to lead to poor health. Okay, now we are going to discuss on the causes of disease, because there are, you can say, there are many dozens of diseases which are there. Okay, and the causes of all the diseases are different. So here we are going to discuss on what actually causes the disease, because that is very much important to know. Okay, so let's see how much we can complete here. Now can you see this diagram which has been shown here? You can see the causative agent, then we have this reservoir, water reservoir. Okay, then we have portal of exit, portal of entry, mode of Acha, I understood what has been taught here. Wait, I want you all to just go through the image so that you can understand what exactly is occurring, if you can. Otherwise we will be discussing on it. Okay, so the causative agent and the mode of transmission has been given. You need to have a look. Okay, so see, this is the causative agent and this is the susceptible host. So what is happening? Susceptible host, and this is the reservoir, this is the portal of exit and portal of entry. Now mode of transmission, can you see? See, portal of entry is the blood, ठीक है, ब्लड के थ्रू आपने कहीं पे टच कर दिया वो ब्लड, सो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, कोई भी डिजीज़ का मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन जो है, दिस आर दी हैंड्स इन बोथ द केसेस, राइट, एंड इट इज़ गोइंग टू एग्जिट व्हेन आई एम having a solution for it, because water is also one of the reservoir through which many of the diseases are being transmitted. If you remember, I have discussed about this, that when there is a flood or any of the natural disaster which has occurred, in those cases the chances of you can say chances of disease which is being spread, it increases. Why so? Because chances increases because water act as a reservoir, and through this reservoir many of the diseases can spread quickly when you come in contact with that water, right? So what exactly causes disease? See, when we think about causes of disease, we must remember that there are many levels of such causes. Okay, what did I just said? जब भी हम डिजीज़ के कॉजेज़ के बारे में सोचते हैं, we must always remember that we have many levels which are of such causes. Okay, so let us look at an example. If there is a baby who is suffering from loose motion, okay, we can say that the cause of the loose motion is probably an infection. Okay, what happened is baby is suffering from loose motion, and this loose motion is the cause, because cause of loose motion is what? Why the baby is having loose motion? Because of any of the infection, right? But the next question is, where did the infection come from? What do you think? From where did the infection come from? So suppose we find that the infection came through an unclean drinking water. From where the infection came from? The baby is suffering from loose motion, that is probably because of the infection, and the infection has occurred because of the unclean drinking water, right? Because many babies must have had this unclean drinking water. So why is it that one baby developed loose motion when the other babies did not? So one reason might be that this baby is not healthy, because if it is not healthy, it means the immunity of that baby is not that strong that it can fight against that infection. Now what is immunity? I want you all to write that. Immunity is something, power of resistance to disease. Resistance means any of the disease will not have any effect on your body, so that is what we call it as resistance. Okay, once your body become resistant to any disease, you cannot have that disease again. Okay, so many baby they might have like developed loose motion, and there will be many babies where they are not going to develop loose motion because because the baby who has not developed this loose motion, they are healthy. So as a result, it might be more likely to have diseases when exposed to risk, whereas healthier babies will not, right? So if I am not healthy, what is happening? I am more likely that I am going to have more and more diseases. Whenever there is a risk, I will be the first one who is going to have that disease or infection. Whereas it is not the same with respect to healthier babies. The healthier babies are not going to have this because you can say they are immune, the immunity is strong, they are resistant to diseases, and they are healthy. So one question comes here is, if that baby is healthy, why is this not why the baby is not healthy here? Okay, perhaps because it is not well nourished and does not get enough food. So what has been given here? Why is that baby not healthy? Because that baby is not well nourished, okay, and that baby is not getting enough food to eat. Okay, so you know our body is demanding some kind of nutrient from us, and I have made you aware that our body is doing so many things for us. It is respiration हो रहा है, circulation हो रहा है, then you can say our heart is beating, हमारा digestive system work कर रहा है, हमारा nervous system work कर रहा है, right? There are so many systems which are working in our body without you even knowing that, right? Whenever we are sleeping as well, our body is functioning at that time as well, right? So आपका बॉडी आपसे कुछ मांगता है क्या? No, it doesn't ask you for anything. but it only asks you for the nourishment, for the nutrient, because it also needs energy for doing so. And when you are eating healthy food, when you are taking an appropriate diet, that is when you are having an appropriate nutrients in your diet, then you can say that you are healthy, because your body is getting fulfilled by the needs they are having, right? So getting a good nourishment is very much important for any of the baby or for any of the individual to be healthy. Okay, so lack of good nourishment becomes a second cause of the disease. Okay, what is the second cause of disease? Because the baby is not having enough good nourishment, then that is the second cause of disease. Further, why is the baby not well nourished? What do you think? Why is the baby not nourished? Because it is from a household which is poor. Okay, and it is also possible that the baby has some genetic differences that makes it more likely to suffer from loose motions when exposed to a pathogen. Now there are two conditions here why the baby is not well nourished. The answer can be two here. If the baby is born in a household which is poor, so nourishing a baby, it becomes a difficult task for them. Okay, so that can be one of the reason. And the second reason might be that the baby might be having some genetic differences, because of which any of the pathogen attacking the baby is going to have loose motions again and again. So here, because there is a genetic difference in the baby is going to suffer from loose motions again and again, and the baby will be unhealthy in such case. Okay, so without the pathogen, the genetic difference or poor nourishment alone will not lead to loose motion. Okay, if there is no pathogen, there is no genetic difference, there is no poor nourishment. Okay, now poor nourishment cannot be the only one thing that is leading to loose motion. If there is a poor nourishment, then if there is a pathogen which is present along with poor nourishment, then that can lead to loose motion. Or if there is poor nourishment and there is a genetic difference, then that is going to lead to loose motion. Alone, poor nourishment cannot alone lead to loose motion. Okay, but they do become contributory cause of the disease. Now all these things, pathogen, genetic difference, poor nourishment, they become a contributory cause of the disease. Why was there no clean drinking water for the baby? Now the question comes here is, why was there no clean drinking water for the baby? Okay, so perhaps the answer can be like, perhaps because the public services are poor where the baby's family live, because the public service around public service in the area or the surrounding where the baby live is not that good, that is very poor. So poverty or lack of public services become the third cause of the baby disease. Second cause was what? Lack of good nourishment was the second cause. Now third cause is poverty, or if there is lack of public services, then this is going to be the third cause of the baby's disease. Okay, and now it will now be obvious that all diseases will have an immediate cause and contributory cause. Okay, so now from whatever we have studied, we can say at the end, it is very much obvious that all the diseases, they are going to have an immediate cause, as well as this causes which they are having, it is also going to be a contributory cause, right? So almost most diseases will have many causes rather than a single cause. Now it is not like that there is only a single cause for getting any of the disease. Okay, there are going to be many different causes which are being involved in getting you a disease, and when you study about diseases in detail, you will come to know that. But here what were we discussing? Chronic disease, causes of disease. So I hope you are getting that we have different causes of disease. It is not like that only a single cause can give rise to a big disease. No, it is not going to happen. Okay, it never happens as such. Now see, now the next topic and the last topic that we are going to discuss on is about the infectious and the non-infectious causes. So as we have seen, it is important to keep public health and community health factors in mind when we think about the causes of disease, right? हमने अभी तक already discuss कर लिया the causes of disease and many more things that we have discussed, and now we are aware of that it is very much important to have to keep the public health as well as the community health factors in mind whenever we are thinking about the causes of disease, because if there is a cause of disease, public health as well as community health factors have to be kept in mind. And we can take that approach a little further, where it is useful to think of immediate causes of disease as belonging to distinct types. Okay, now कोई भी disease हो रहा है, so we are going to have an immediate cause of that disease, right? So it is very much useful, it is going to become useful if we think of the immediate cause of disease, because it is going to belong to two distinct types, right? They, as we have already discussed, that a single cause cannot cause a disease, right? There can be many causes which is going to be included in most of the disease. So one group of causes, the infectious agent. Okay, एक group of cause क्या है? Infectious agent, and this infectious agent mostly includes microbes and microbes or microorganisms. Okay, infectious agent में क्या आता है? Microbes or microorganism. Okay, now disease where microbes are the immediate cause, they are called infectious disease. Now there are some of the diseases where you know that microbes, they have caused the disease and they are the immediate cause of the disease. In such cases, we call such type of diseases as infectious disease. Okay, now you know that it's an infectious disease, and this why it is an infectious disease? Because the microbes can spread in the community and the disease they cause will spread with them. Why do we call them as infectious disease? Because it has been caused by the microorganism. Suppose I am having an infection, I am having an because of an infectious agent. So even if I am spitting on the road, the microorganism जो है that can spread in the community, and the disease, whatever disease I'm having, that can even spread. Now spreading of the disease is a very for this a very good example is COVID. We all are aware of COVID, right? So COVID is one of the best example of spreading the disease. On the other hand, there are also diseases that are not caused by infectious agent. Okay, now ऐसे बहुत सारे diseases हैं which are not been caused by infectious agents. So how are they caused? So these causes are going to vary, but they are not external causes like microbes that can spread in the community. Now we saw that microbes are the one that is spreading in our environment, and that is leading to infectious disease. But there will be other external causes as well, where you will see that the microbes are not spreading in the community, right? So mostly internal, they are going to be mostly internal, and they are going to be non-infectious cause. Okay, what are they going to be? They are going to be a non-infectious cause. For example, if any individual is having cancer, that cancer is caused by a genetic abnormality and not by any microorganism, right? अगर किसी को कैंसर है तो वो कैंसर स्प्रेड नहीं होता ना एक इंडिविजुअल से दूसरे इंडिविजुअल में. It is not spread. If it is spreading from one infected individual to another healthy individual, then we call such type of disease as infectious disease, because it is spreading from an infected individual to a healthy individual. But like cancer doesn't spread from an infected individual to a healthy individual, right? Because these cancers are caused by genetic abnormalities. Why are they caused? Genetic abnormalities. Then we have high blood pressure. Now आपने सुना होगा BP high हो गया है. So high blood pressure is been caused by excessive weight and lack of exercise. If you are not exercising and you are having an excessive weight, then high blood pressure is one of the cause which occurs because of these two reasons, lack of exercise and excessive weight. Okay, now you can think of many other diseases where the immediate cause will not be infectious. अभी आप बहुत सारे और diseases के बारे में सोच सकते हो जहाँ पे जो immediate cause है वो disease का, that is not going to be infectious. Okay, so the way in which the disease is spreading and the way in which they are being treated and prevented at a community level, it is going to be different for different kinds of diseases. अब अलग अलग diseases के लिए we all know that disease का spread होने का way जो है that is different. So if it is spreading differently, the treatment that has been given, that is going to be different, and how it is prevented at the community level, that is also going to be different, right? So for each and for different diseases, the spreading of the disease is going to be different, how the disease has been treated, that is going to be different, and how the disease have been prevented at the community level, that is also going to be different. Okay, so this will depend a lot on whether the immediate causes are infectious or non-infectious. So the treatment, the prevention, the spread, they depend on what? They depend on whether the immediate cause of disease, they are infectious or they are non-infectious. This plays a very important role here. Okay, whether the diseases are infectious or they are non-infectious. Okay, now let's see. This is the picture showing infectious diseases, different infectious disease. So this is smallpox, which is again an infectious disease, which it means infectious disease का मतलब क्या है, that it can spread from an infected individual to an healthy individual. So smallpox is one of the example, then measles is one of the example, then we have herpes, and lastly we have the swine flu. You might have heard about swine flu. When I was in school, I guess in 10th, that time जैसे कोविड स्प्रेड हो रहा है ना, वैसे ही धीरे धीरे स्वाइन फ्लू भी स्प्रेड हो रहा था, एंड वी गॉट हॉलीडे फॉर स्वाइन फ्लू एज वेल. वी गॉट हॉलीडेज फॉर 10 to 15 days आई गेस व्हेन इट वाज स्प्रेडिंग रैपिडली. ओके, एंड स्वाइन फ्लू जो है वो पिग से स्प्रेड होता है. सो द पिक्चर इज क्लियरली इंडिकेटिंग दैट. ओके, so I hope what did we discuss today? Let's have a look on it. We started with distinction between healthy and disease free. Then we discussed on the disease and its causes, like what does a disease exactly look like. After that we discussed on acute and chronic disease. Then chronic disease, how it has been related to poor health, what are the causes of disease. After that we discussed on infectious and non-infectious causes, and I hope that you are clear till your infectious and non-infectious causes. Okay, now the next thing that we have is about the infectious disease, under which we are going to discuss on infectious agent in the next part. Okay, so we will be discussing about this infectious agent. So these are some of the pictures of the infectious agent that are causing disease. We'll be discussing on that. After that we will be discussing how the diseases are exactly spreading. Okay, the means of the spread, we will be discussing that as well. After discussing the means of spread, we are going to discuss on organ specific and tissue specific manifestation. What are we going to discuss on? Organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. And at the end we have principles of treatment and principles of prevention to discuss. Now both these principles are very much important to discuss, that is principle of treatment and principle of prevention. Both the principles are important with respect to this lesson. Okay, and lastly we are going to discuss on immunization, which is also very much important to discuss. So immunization, if you remember, I was discussing about the immunity thing, right? So that is what immunization is, and we will be discussing here with respect to immunization in detail. Might be I will be discussing more on it. Okay, so this will be the last. Immunization is going to be the last part for this lesson, why do we fall ill, and then we have a short summary to discuss, where we are going to discuss on everything that we have discussed till now in this lesson. So short summary is going to be every important point that we have discussed in this lesson, why do we fall ill. Okay, after this short summary we have few exercise questions to discuss, which I am showing you right now, and I want you all to go through the exercise questions one by one. Okay, so that you have a clear picture or clear idea what exactly the questions are after we complete the studying the lesson. So see, you have got a chance to conduct a survey as well, and if you go and do this survey, you'll be enjoying a lot. It's just we are not exploring ourselves, we are not grabbing the opportunities that we are getting, and that is why we are lagging behind. So I'll suggest you go and do this, conduct a survey. It will give you a lot more information. Okay, so these are the 6 questions that we are going to discuss after discussing on the summary for this whole lesson. Why do we fall ill? And I hope whatever we have discussed till now in this lesson, till this part, you are clear with it. The rest of the part which has been left, we are going to complete that in the next part. Thank you everyone.